What's up, everyone? Aaron Schatz here, Editor-in-Chief of ASE Publishing, and today we've got another review for you. This time, it's the D-Link DCS-8300LH Full HD Wi-Fi camera. This thing right here, actually. This is review ID 63676. You can check out this and all our reviews by going to www.aselabs.com. Incidentally, that's also why this review took a little bit of extra time. The website was down for a little bit, and there's some server problems, and we're fixing that. And in the process, we're going to be revamping the website anyway. So, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, and you probably are, you should just hit that subscribe button right below. You'll be informed of all the content as we post them. They're all videos these days. When you go on ASE Labs, that's if you want the actual text summary of this review. For this one, we're actually going to post the text summary in the actual review, so you don't have to go to ASE Labs right now, since it's in a constant state of flux right now until the new design comes out, which is soon. So that's why this review took a little bit extra time. However, no excuse. I did say it was going to take a few weeks or maybe 3 weeks or whatever. So kind of missed that mark, but more of the same for me apparently. Anyway, let's get into this review right now. I know many of you probably already seen the unboxing, so real quick I'll just open this up because to be honest, there's not really much to these anymore. It's basically you get the camera and actual AC adapter, which is still micro USB, not USB-C right now. And the actual adapter is very, very long, which it should be for a camera. So let's see what else is in the box other than some literature, which I think that's all that's in here right now. So let's just double check that. Oh yeah, some mounting hardware, and then some literature, and that's basically it. And you get that mounting template and stuff. So if you actually do want to mount the actual camera, generally in the bottom you'll see screw holes right here. You just mount it and it just pops right in place. So that's basically what's in the box. On the face you have that black face right here, white back. This is the new consumer facing lines from D-Link these days. You have a D-Link logo on the bottom. That really doesn't affect the actual camera at all. On the top you have status indicator LEDs and a set of IR LEDs for actual night vision of the camera. We'll get into that a little bit later. On the back you have speaker microphone, you have micro SD card slot, which is really interesting with the cloud recording because when I was testing this you couldn't do them both at the same time. There might be a software update in the future that allows you to do that at the same time, but for now, as of my testing, you couldn't record on the SD card and on the cloud at the same time. So hopefully that may be rectified in the future, maybe not, but that's a caveat you have to think about. On the bottom of it you also have the micro USB AC adapter, and that's basically it. Other than the bottom where you can actually mount this to a wall, to ceiling or whatever, it basically is a standard thing that you basically put two things in the drywall or wherever you want to mount it to, screw it in, twist it, and it's good to go. The head will swivel and turn to make sure it's the right orientation for what you want. Pretty much just standard stuff for all the consumer grade cameras that you've seen in the past couple of years. I want to really mention about that this is like one of the first in the line for new cameras from D-Link. This is their new consumer grade cameras, and you can really tell the difference by like the actual color scheme really. Their new consumer grades, and I mentioned this before, the new consumer grade cameras are black and white, black face, white back, indicating that it's like a consumer grade camera. There's a lot of caveats to the consumer grade cameras these days. Now in the past, with the other cameras I reviewed, like the DCH-2530L, 2630L, 936, and all those ones that had all black and stuff. Basically, those cameras were a mix of prosumer and regular consumer. They did basically everything that you would expect from a consumer-grade camera with a smartphone that you can control and stuff, and it allowed you to get back into the admin interface of the camera. Right now, as of this review, you cannot get into the admin interface of this camera right now. So if you're one that likes using these cameras with like a network video recorder, an NVR, you can't do that with this camera right now. So that is the one big caveat that I'll tell you right off the bat. Now that actually shocked me a little bit, and I actually asked D-Link, I was like, well, why is that? And they actually said that was a requested feature too. So it could be that they actually change this in the future with a firmware update and allow you actual admin access. But as of right now, this review, you cannot get admin access to this camera. And I've tried going to the IP address. It basically you can't sign in. No matter what I've tried, you really can't sign in. Now someone that is pretty good at hacking might be able to figure that out, but like for the regular consumer, ostensibly you have no admin access to the actual camera itself, unlike the old ones that did. What you do have is a interesting smartphone type of security camera. You know, where it's basically like saying, okay, here's the application that you're going to use. You basically point, click, set up, and you manage everything to your smartphone. That's what D-Link is going for these new cameras. The problem with that is the application that they're using is different than the one that was used in the older cameras, the My D-Link Lite application. They actually have a new generation of software called My D-Link. Now, it looks prettier, but that's where the problem lies. Like, the functionality of the actual application is very more or less convoluted, and it's getting better too. I remember when there was another reason that I held off on this review a little bit, because when I first saw the application, it was real bad. Like, it was real bad. You couldn't figure out where to get to your recordings. They've steadily made improvements every couple of weeks. Every time there was a major update to the application, the workflow improved, the user interface improved. So D-Link is constantly improving their actual application. They know that the application is like not where it needs to be, and they're working on getting it where it needs to be. So, you know, like, I'm a big proponent in like having companies, you know, own up to their own thing, and D-Link pretty much said, like, yeah, we know it's not up to par yet, and we're working on it. So I give them credit for working on it, but honestly, like, it shouldn't have been released in this state. And I'm sure people gave feedback that like the application just wasn't there yet, but it is what it is, and this is, you know, it's not one for me to, like, you know, say that you should go out and buy a camera when I don't trust the interface enough right now. So instead of me just talking about it, I will show you the interface. So I'm going to do this in two ways. Since there's no admin interface, this is not going to be a gigantic long review because I have no web interface to show you. What I will do is I'm going to show you this camera all set up first, and then we'll go through the process of actually setting up a new. Because I don't want to like do that all right now and then reset everything up. So I'm going to show you what the application is right now, where it's at the time of this review, and then I'll take you through the process of actually, you know, taking this out of the box, setting this up brand new, and that's not a big deal. Like, to be honest, I really don't need to show you that, but you know, it helps a lot of people when they actually see like someone setting up the camera like it was brand new. These cameras these days, I mean, really, like, you install the application, then you follow some instructions, and boom, it works. So that's that. Let's reset this up, plug this thing in, and then we'll actually show you the actual application. Before I actually jump into the actual software, I want to show you some B-roll footage of the actual camera in action. Now, I know some people in the past reprimanded me for not putting footage of night vision mode of the camera. So I'm here to say that I'm going to put night vision mode of the camera footage in right now. So this is footage from the actual camera itself. I downloaded the file from the actual cloud recording. You can see that the clarity is good. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're in a large room that's like bigger than 15-20 feet from the actual camera, your clarity is going to diminish greatly, because how these night vision cameras work is by basically saying, okay, the camera sensor could see IR that humans can't, right? You and I can't see IR, and if you can, that's great, you're probably a mutant. Now, because the actual camera sensors can pick up infrared light, how they work is there's a series of infrared lights around the actual camera that project light into the actual room. And that's great for objects that are pretty close to the camera, like I said, 15-20 feet. The farther out you get, the less light's going to make it there, and you're not going to be able to see much. But again, for a consumer-grade camera, the night vision is actually very good for the intended use. It's not meant to be like a high-security camera. It's meant to put in your house, into a room, and it's going to light the room just fine. As long as your room's on an auditorium, you'll be able to see what's going on in the room in night vision. Now let's take a look at a shot that was in a low light situation, but no night vision required. So that's the other thing about a camera. Most houses don't have great lighting. So as you can see in my basement down here, you know, the lighting's not that great, but it doesn't matter, because you could still pick up the information that you want to see. Now, even when I show you, let's see if I can pull up a clip. I hope I'm showing you this right now. But like with all the lights off and there's very, very little light in the room, you could still see exactly what's going on in the room, even with the small amount of light coming in. So now once the night vision actually turns on in the previous clip, you'll notice that it was black and white, but with regular light it's got color because there's color. Now with IR LEDs on, it's going to show you black and white because that's how you're going to get the most definition possible. When you're actually using night vision, all you're really concerned about is like picking up either like an object or faces in the actual image. You don't really care about color per se if you're using this as like security footage, so that's why. But when you have natural light or artificial light from actual regular lights, colors are there, no problem, as you can see. So again, because it's a consumer-facing camera, don't expect to have the highest clarity that you would in night vision, or even having the highest definition in like the actual optics of this for just in general. But for a consumer-grade camera, it's pretty damn good, and you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. Even with the 130-degree field of view, sees most of my room in the corner, so I have no problem with this at all. I've got my phone situated on one of these sides here. Got the camera all turned on, and I want to show you the difference right here. That in my previous reviews I showed you the My D-Link Lite application, which is to the right here, and the new one is just My D-Link. So when you go download it, it's called My D-Link. That's it. It looks like this thing right here. I'm already signed in, so it'll take me to the actual what I call the dashboard. Now this was vastly different when I first started using this camera, and as you can see I have a few cameras actually set up, so this new software actually works with older cameras as well. You can still use the older software too, which I think is actually slightly better, or in a lot of ways, but this is the only one that supports the cloud recording. So if I showed you this camera, which is right here, so this is my view of you right here, this camera right here. And that's an inversion table. And that's my dog, Coco. 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 Yeah, good dog. So that's the dashboard view. This camera view was not here initially. There was nothing. It was weird. It was just like a series of like just shortcuts and stuff that didn't really do much. So one thing that you're going to notice about this actual application is that it doesn't look like a native application to me. So this is an Android device, and it doesn't look like a native Android application to me. It could be, I just don't think it is. It looks like something that was made in like a unified toolkit that could be exported to either platform. So that's that. So let's take a look at the menu, top left. So this menu is a great example of why I don't think this is a standard application. This just does not look like any other Android application menu that I've ever seen. Again, it could be, I just don't think it is. The other problem that I have is that there are design considerations in this application that don't make a lot of sense to me. For instance, if you look at the bottom of this menu, there is all that white space that's empty. So instead of making the menu bigger, because the actual individual menu options are actually quite small, they just add more white space, which just doesn't make sense to me. So now let's say that you want to actually go into your devices, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go into devices. Hit devices. So devices brings me to this page that has another quote. It's not really a menu, it's floating bubbles that could easily have been another menu, or it could have been in the other menu. So now let's say I want to, okay, so real quick, I get it that they want to put like the home control stuff in here. The smart plugs, the sensors, I get all that. Having a unified application makes total sense. I'm on board with that. So let's do that. Unify all the applications into one. Sure, get it. They can all talk to each other. I'm on board with that. Let's say I want to actually do something to my cameras. So I'm going to click cameras. Now, where did this interface come from? This could have been easily handled by a menu, a list, right? That would show me all the actual cameras or all the stuff that I had in my house or all the stuff that I controlled in one easy to use scrollable list. So instead I have to figure out which it is by basically scrolling to each item because it only gives me an icon and then the text is below. So if I didn't know which one this was, and look at this, like I had to like figure out, oh, if I want to scroll over one, it has inertia. So like I got to do it so slowly to actually figure out which one I'm actually going to do. So this is an example of just a bad user experience right here. This could have been easily handled in a list view. So if you want my opinion, you should try to use your application yourself and dog food it before you actually give it to it. I mean, don't get me wrong, D-Link knows that their application needs a lot of work. So I suspect in a few months this application will be way better. But again, most of it's just user experience. The actual application itself works fine once you actually get over the fact that it's just really hard to use and really hard to navigate. Although that to me kind of defeats the purpose of having a consumer grade camera where people are expected to just plug in and go. When the actual interface is actually very hard to use, it becomes very frustrating for a lot of people. So that's something to be said right there. So now let's go into this camera itself. I'm going to hit this camera, right? So I get to see the camera itself, right? There's the hand, there's the thing. So on the bottom you have the snapshot, you can record, it can actually record right on the phone as well, and you have a menu at the bottom right here, so I'm going to hit that. So remember how I said this camera has two-way audio. So I'll show you that, I'm not sure if the recording on here is going to allow this to work, but let's just see. So I'm going to hold this. Hello? Hello? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? So there's the talking. And you can actually hear through my phone the actual microphone. So that's an example of it actually. Okay, stop. So that's an example of it actually working with the two-way audio. So you can actually speak and be spoken to. So a lot of people actually requested that feature, and a lot of other cameras that I've reviewed from D-Link. So this one actually has two-way audio for a rather insignificant price compared to the other camera that actually had two-way audio. So that's cool. Now, let's go into cloud recording. So this camera is now being recorded in the cloud. There's no SD card in there because this menu at the top right here, you could either select cloud storage or SD card, and there's no SD card in here. But it looks like this menu just added SD card in there as well. So I might have to try the SD card in here to see if it actually works. That might be a new application update that I need to still check. So I'll check that in a little bit right after this. But let's just assume that we have cloud storage. So the cloud storage works basically the same. You're going to see a whole bunch of stuff in here that's all timelined. Now the free tier I think lasts for about 24 hours. So if you want to store more, you have to pay. And I think you get up to 3 devices on that free tier. So right off the bat, if you have more than 3 devices, you're going to have to pay something. Or you just use the SD card storage for your local storage. Now, each one of these is totally fine. So I think this is probably one of the most recent. Let's see what this is. This is sound recording. So obviously it's recording me.
Hello? You hear it?
And that was the sound recording. All right, I get it. Thanks.
There's the talk.
See, and it's like it recorded a whole bunch of stuff because I'm actually doing this right now.
My phone.
So stop. Don't need that. So as you can see, it'll actually store a lot of stuff that you would normally expect. So if you actually put the sensitivity up high enough, you could record a lot of video and right to the cloud. And once you actually go and do that, you can actually favorite this too, if you wanted to, and
Hello?
get back to it pretty easily. You can also share it. All right, stop. The other thing is you can actually take a snapshot on the lower part or download the entire clip and actually save it to your phone so it won't actually go away. All very important things to do. So like if you had, for instance, somebody come and, God forbid, rob your house, and you had footage of him, download the video and you save it and it won't be deleted. So this camera can actually record based on motion and sound. So I will show you back, back into there, and then hit the settings thing up top here, and you can see you can give your camera a nice photo if you want. You can change the actual name of the device to whatever you want. This is another example of like weirdness to me about like it doesn't look like an Android application. It just doesn't look correct to me. But anyway, that's that. Whoops, went back too much. Let's go back. Now the device location actually exists for like the home control stuff. So this integrates with like Google Home and if this and that. You can actually tell this to actually cast to your TV on Chromecast and stuff. So it does all that cool stuff. Now where this is actually going to be cool in home control is where like it can actually start sending events, and I don't think it does that yet. You can't be like, oh, when you detect motion, then trip the alarm or whatever. That stuff is all coming soon. When there's going to be a lot of cool stuff in the future. So we're at the early days of that. So Wi-Fi, obviously, I'll go through the setup a little bit later. So now we have the camera settings itself. Now, unfortunately, since there's no admin interface on the camera, this is all you're going to get. you can either turn the microphone on and off, you can actually get into the motion settings, and you can actually do per cell motion. So like for instance, if there's an area that, let's just say that I was in a room that had a TV, I can actually block the TV off like that. And now that area is now desensitized for motion control. But since it is, I'll just leave it out. You can change the sensitivity. Obviously, if you want to record everything, put the sensitivity all the way up to 100%. Bam. Record almost everything. Night vision, it's either auto on or off. So I will show you on all the time, just to give you an example. So if you see now, it's now totally black and white, and you can see that the IR LEDs, you can see my hand. Ooh, see? Same thing. So this is basically how it would look when night vision is on anyway, and I think I showed you that some of that B-roll before. But we don't need that on right now, so just leave that on auto. This menu also doesn't seem like an Android menu. Anti-flicker for the United States is generally 60 Hertz, so there you go. Privacy mode. Privacy mode turns off the LEDs and such. So, I'm sorry, no, privacy mode actually just turns it so it doesn't record. So, that's, yeah, I never use that. So there you go. The camera LED is this one right here, which will turn it off. Woo. The LED is actually on the back, so like, here you go. See that turned it on, that little green little guy right there? So, bam. Now it's turned off, now you have no idea. I'm going to turn it back on. So now here's the interesting part. You're like, well, if the motion control is there, where's the sound control? Well, that's kind of interesting because that's not in the camera settings. That's in somewhere else. So let's go back to figure out where that is. Okay, so it's here. No, wait. Where is it? It's not in this menu. Okay, where's the hamburger menu? Where did the oh, wait, scroll. Okay, these one-tap things don't really matter for my camera. Okay, event. What does event do? Okay, it brings me back to the cloud recording. That's interesting. All right, what's settings? Oh, it might be settings. Okay, so device settings, right? So device now brings me back to all my devices, I guess? Is that how it, wait, okay. So let me go into this. Now that brings me here. Oh, wait. Wait. Are these more options that I didn't see? See? Okay. No. You still can't do it. See? You can either choose one or the other. You can't choose both. So that still is the case. So you can't record on the SD card and cloud at the same time, which I think is weird because you should be able to do both. I have no idea why you can't do both. So if you saw this device menu and then the camera menu are different for some reason. I don't know why. But where is the menu? So, oh, I have to go back out into the main thing to get to the... What does this button do? Oh, wait. There's other stuff in here. So this is the dashboard view and how you actually show like stuff in the dashboard. But honestly, for the camera usage, you want the camera view, and that's basically it. Everything else doesn't really matter. So if we go back into devices, right? This device menu is different from the other device menu. So let me go back into camera. And I just want to show you that device menu, this is totally different. I have no idea why. And if you go back into settings here, oh, I just missed it. I tricked you. So anyway, this is the same. I apologize. So that I was about to say, like, this, even I was getting freaked out about that. But like, why is the device menu and this menu totally different? It just doesn't make sense. So this is the, so if you had so because this is the camera view, you can actually do multi-view. So like, I'm not going to show you all my camera views right now. I'll show you this one. But if you had, you could have just like see it all on the same screen, you know, the generic view and stuff like that. But again, that stuff is buried. I don't know why it's buried in these weird like things. This application also supports sending you notifications. The only problem is it doesn't support geofencing. So if I'm home and this is detecting motion from like myself, I'm getting all these notifications, so it becomes unusable. So I basically just turn off the notifications. But if you're like in and that's where privacy mode comes in, just turn that on. But like, I shouldn't have to enable that at all. So if you're in like, if this is in like a vacation home and stuff, and it's not going to annoy you, turn on the notifications. It'll send you notifications when it detects movement or sound, and I think that's great. It does work fine. So let's go back out of here. Let's go back into the settings. Okay, so where are the settings for the, is it account? No, that's me. And there's where you enable notifications. It's not there. Okay, is it automation? What is this? The video recording is on. Why would this be under automations menu and not under the camera itself? So, okay, this is where you get to the recording settings for the cloud recording. Again, it completely boggles my mind why it's in here. Your home automation will be changed. Are you sure you want to change? Go ahead. What does it do? It turns it off. I have no idea why it turns it off, but that's what this menu does. What you actually want is to hit this little settings icon here. It's just a little, see, this just weird stuff. Okay, so now we get into the video recording settings, and you see there's a rule there. The rule is what's determining, so let's hit this rule. Okay, so it says event. When the sound reaches 75 decibels or above, actually above 75 decibels, then record it and send a push notification. Or there's motion detection, do the same thing. Why this is buried in this section is beyond me, but this is an example again of just the application being very unintuitive. And again, all this stuff, it's all available for you. You can modify all this stuff if you know where to look, so you have to do a lot of digging in the application. The unfortunate part is, again, the target market for this is pretty much for the people that are going to plug this in and go. And to me, the application just isn't there for the majority of the people. If you're tech savvy like me and stuff, you'll eventually poke around and find what you need to do, and it works, right? It eventually works. I can get notifications if I want to. I can look up all my cloud recordings if I want to. I can have the live view if I want to, right? All that stuff totally works. It's just slightly less intuitive than I would like. And by slightly, I mean a lot, really. The application needs an overhaul, needs new menu systems. It just basically needs new workflows. Again, all the functionality is there. It just needs some workflow. So if you're giving this to like a parent or someone that's less tech savvy, you're probably going to need to like explain how to use this stuff or just show them only the basics. Now, the basics you'll be able to get immediately. Like once it's installed, you'll be able to see like, okay, live view and stuff. The cloud recording you might not even figure out how to do, so there's that. So you're going to have to set this up for somebody, and to me that defeats the purpose. Again, all this stuff can be rectified by constantly improving this application, and it has been. Like I said, when this application, I first saw it like a month ago, or maybe a little bit over a month ago, it was way worse than this. There was no camera views. Getting into the camera required, the settings menu was buried in the camera views. Very, very weird and awkward. But like moving forward, D-Link wants to make one unified application of everything. I think the goal is good. I just think the execution isn't there yet. Let me see what else. See what cloud recording is. So this is the menu to actually like pay for cloud recording, but since I only have one device that can do it, I don't really care right now. So like I said, you get up to 3 cameras and 1 day of cloud storage. So that's that. Let's go out. See what else I want to show you about here. Here you also, this is where you add a device, which we'll do in a little bit. In fact, no, get back out of there. See if this is, so this settings here, it brings up that menu, which disappears at the top. The other thing is like, I don't understand why the actual like menu, the navigation bar is hidden, and the actual, why did the menu down there go away? I don't like how like a lot of applications hide Android's navigation bar and the touch buttons at the bottom for no reason. There's no reason to do that in this application. I shouldn't have to like put this down to see that. And the other thing is like, where did those icons on the bottom go? Just because I touched this, like that's okay. Anyway, enough me berating this application. Long story short, if you're tech savvy, this will work fine for you. You'll have to hunt and figure out where some stuff in the application, but it actually just works fine. If you're not tech savvy, you might want to consider getting another camera. Either an older D-Link camera, which actually still works just fine, or something that's a little bit easier to use on the application side of things. If you have an NVR, this is not the camera for you at all. You really should get the older cameras that actually still have the admin interface, because you can't hook this up to an NVR at all. So if you have an NVR, I wouldn't even consider this camera because you can't hook it up to an MDR. So that pretty much covers the actual application. It pretty much gets the job done. Cloud recording does work, but again, the application needs a bunch of polish, needs new user workflow improvements and stuff. It's all there, it just needs to be a lot more cohesive. So let's reset the camera and then set this up brand new. This is a, let me show you my front door real quick. So show you that it's live. There you go, great. Nobody's at my front door, thankfully. Now, I reset this camera right here, and I'm going to set it up brand new. So we're at the application. I'm going to hit Add Device in the menu. Do you have a QR code on your device, or it's on this configuration card? Let's see. Oh, there's a QR code right there. Yes, I do. So now let's go figure out. Oh, there it is. Okay, put that right there. Oh, found it. Make sure that the power cable's plugged in. Wait for the LED to flash orange. Oh, well, let's see here. Does that look like it's flashing orange? Yes, it does. All right, great. Next. Okay, I'm going to call it something different here. Call it basement cam. and then we'll call it in the basement. Probably should just call it camera. But whatever. So now we're going to choose Wi-Fi. I'm going to choose my network. And I'm going to add my password in here, which I'm going to blank out. So, yeah. Let's see here. So hopefully you didn't see that. Hit that, which doesn't make the application go. Again, another weird idiosyncrasy for a non-Android application. I have to hit the top check, which is kind of strange. So there you go, that's that. Hopefully this sets up the Wi-Fi. Let's see. Binding. Oh, green. Went green. It's like this much left. Yes. See? This is different now too. Your camera hasn't been installed successfully. Do you want to add this camera to cloud recording? Hell yeah, I do. Enable recording now. You can use your existing automation rules for use. Okay, that sounds great. Let's set a rule. Why do I have to do that? Oh, okay, it's on, so I guess that means it's working. Again, this is the unintuitive part. Like, why would you bring me this menu? Just be like, do you want to enable cloud recording? Yes. Okay, great, it's enabled. Done. And then the camera settings should determine how it's actually doing it. So, okay, so theoretically, there's no rules. So wait, does that mean it's... Okay, so now I'm going to take you to creating a rule. Alright, so now you have to go, so you're in this menu, which brings you to, again, I don't know why it just doesn't set up the rule. Again, come on, let's get this workflow stuff correct. So, let's hit that little cog icon, and then we're going to set up a rule. So, video recording, sure. Video record, okay, whatever. That's it. So now rule, add a rule, and then the basement cam is that, or the motions detected, yes. And then check both of them, yep. Next, recording, sure. Not privacy mode, don't care about that. Recording, yes. And then push notification, yes. I want to notify myself. Next. Save. And that should be it. So now it should be working, and something tells me I might get a push notification soon for this. But that's how you enable push notifications for the actual device. And that's how you basically set up the camera. So now, once the camera is actually set up, you can actually go back into here and hit this events thingy. And you can see like the thing is all different now. I actually deleted this other device and put this new one in. So let's see what this little guy is here. Bam, there it is. So that takes care of that. And I already showed you the rest of the actual application, so that's how you do it. So that's how you set this up. That's how you set up the cloud recording, which I think is a little unintuitive, but if you needed help, I hope that did help you. So let's wrap this thing up. I know it was kind of hard on the actual application, and don't get me wrong, D-Link is a great company. Every company does some weird things from time to time. To me, this is one of those things that really needs correcting. I know D-Link is going to fix it. They've been constantly improving the application. I think they will in the future. I think given a few more months, the application will be stellar and it'll work fine. Hopefully they take the feedback that people like these admin interfaces on the consumer grade cameras. Just let people use the device however they want to see. They bought the device, let them use it the way they want to. I want to use it with an NVR. Right now I can't. Hopefully in the future a firmware update will change that, so we'll see. If you want to submit some feedback to D-Link, please do. I'm sure they love to hear from their customers. Anytime a company accepts feedback from customers, it's great. So please do send them feedback. Tell them what you want to see in their cameras. Tell them how to improve their products. Believe me, I work in product management too. We love to hear when customers actually come, give us feedback, how to improve things, what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. So again, I gave them feedback. If you want to give them feedback, that's great. That feedback allows them to actually better serve their customer base. So please do give them feedback. It's not that often that I give mediocre reviews to products, but like it does happen. And I still want to give credit to D-Link that when I talk to them, they know where they're making mistakes, they know where they need to improve. So again, it's not just about the product itself, it's about the company that's behind it. So I know D-Link is going to eventually like make this all better. It's just the timing. So right now I just don't think this is the right time for this product. Again, 6 months later, it might be a fantastically done product, great user experience right out of the box. So something to just reevaluate, every couple of months. Again, the entry into the market though at $90 is a good price for the actual features of the camera. So here's hoping that D-Link actually gets the user experience all better, and then this is going to be a great product to actually recommend. But right now, if you want something that's plug in and go and very minimal setup and don't have to worry about figuring out where things are, it's not for you. Additionally, if you have an NVR, this is definitely not a camera for you because there's no admin interface. So that's the other caveat to this. Again, they might enable it in the future, just something to think about. The D-Link DCS-8300LH retails for about $90 right now. There's a link in the description below to Amazon where you can purchase it right now. But again, with all the caveats I listed, you might want to hold off a little bit. ASE Labs and ASE Publishing would like to thank D-Link for sending this product for review. You can check out links in the description below and on ASE Labs to actually purchase this product from Amazon right now, as I just said. For ASE Publishing, I'm Aaron Schatz, and thank you for watching. And I know that it's been quite longer than the 3 weeks I said this review is going to be, but there were some website issues and there were some communication issues that I had with D-Link and stuff. Some people left and emails just weren't going. But no excuse, I know it. So all the feedback that you sent that you're asking where the review is coming from, I apologize that the review took so long, but it's here now. So if you want to give me feedback on the review, love to hear from you. And remember to hit that subscribe button, and I'm not going to take that out. That is staying in this. I am not editing that out. So remember to hit that subscribe button. You'll be informed of all the content as we post them. And one thing I want to tell you right now is if you don't have time to actually watch these really long reviews, you can actually hit the 1-minute reviews that we post on every single review. In the actual description below, you'll see a link to a 1-minute review. That is a 1-minute condensed review. So it's not as informative as this review. So if you have very little time, just catch the 1-minute review and be like, all right, I get it, and then come back and watch the full review. And then you'll be in the know, and everybody will be great. And that's basically it. So remember to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.